I'm Casey Jones, and I
In Portland, Oregon, we get set for Northwest Conference football on Pios Stream. Thanks for being with us as today the Puget Sound Loggers take on the Lewis and Clark Pioneers. Hi, everyone. I am Ryan Goff. The Lewis and Clark Pioneers getting set to take the field for their third home game of the season. Lewis and Clark narrowly missed a chance to be victorious for the second time this year 2 weeks ago against PLU. But on homecoming 2021, Lewis and Clark gets set to take the field in front of the homecoming crowd for the first time in 2 seasons, not getting a chance to play a couple years ago. Black uniforms with a homecoming tent full of alumni out in the south end zone. Lewis and Clark runs on the field. A 2-3 record and 1-2 in Northwest Conference play. Puget Sound is 0-6 and 0-3 in Northwest Conference games. Lewis and Clark played Pacific Lutheran a few weeks ago, lost 38-37. The Pioneers trailed in that game 35-10. Ended up losing by 1. Went for 2 to try to take the lead late in that game, and they were unsuccessful. On the following weekend, beat Willamette just a Saturday ago, 43-41. That's a significant win because the Pioneers defended the Wagon Wheel traveling trophy for the 4th straight time. We'll talk more about that. Pacific Lutheran last week off a loss 49-28 to George Fox. That's the opponent for Lewis and Clark in the final game of the year after falling at Pacific 69-6 2 weeks ago. We'll come back with the coin toss. We'll also introduce you to the lineups for this game. It's Lewis and Clark, Puget Sound, Northwest Conference football coming up next on Pios Stream.
I'm Casey Jones, and I teach a range of classes: general chemistry, organic chemistry, and also some advanced classes. And I have a research lab that currently I have 4 students working with me as part of the Rogers program. The summer experience is a way to get really deeply involved in the science that is here and be able to start to define what might be what you want to do next. So the brown bag gives our students a chance to explain their research and really show the context and the application of what they're doing to a very broad range of students and faculty.
It's interesting to be able to communicate to other scientists what your work is, and it forces you to learn how to talk about your subject so that not only experts in your field can understand it, but others can understand it as well, which I just believe is a good life skill.
To talk about your research in a way that anybody can understand it really is a valuable experience, and it's something that you don't get a lot of practice for except in these contexts. Because oftentimes you're giving a presentation to a classroom filled with people who know basically the same things that you do, but in a brown bag, you have to be able to explain and provide motivation for everything that you're working on and why it's important and why it's relevant.
Back at Griswold Stadium, getting set for Northwest Conference football. Lewis and Clark in Puget Sound. Pioneers defeated Puget Sound 2 years ago when these two teams met in the finale of the 2019 season. A 33-21 win for Lewis and Clark. Today, the Pioneers will try to get back-to-back wins against a Northwest Conference opponent for the first time since 2012-2013, except for when playing Willamette, as I mentioned at the top. Pioneers defended the Wagon Wheel Traveling Trophy for the fourth consecutive year. That's the first time since 1989-1992. A big milestone for Lewis and Clark football. The officials today, Seth Nielsen is the referee. The umpire is Daniel Sims. Head linesman Theodore Stark. Charles Giles is the line judge. Side judge Eric Stoffers. Tyler Wadecamper is the field judge. And Wes Taylor is the back judge. Aiden Verba Hamilton and the Pioneers defer the coin toss. Pioneers captain with Mercury Campagno, David Seha, and Jake Bushman. And Puget Sound set to receive the opening kickoff. It is drizzly. This is the second game of 3 so far played in Portland that has been such. The Pioneers beat Whittier 66-14 in the home opener back on September 19th, and that was wet the entire time. Lewis and Clark dressed in black uniforms. They have the orange trim. This year is new. They have the L&C interlocking logo on the right side of the helmet, but they have the jersey number of each player on the left side in orange. Puget Sound, maroon pants, white tops, maroon numbers, and maroon helmets, and a matte finish. The PS with an axe is the logo for the Puget Sound Loggers. Puget Sound is winless. The Loggers will try to get their first victory of 2021. The 12th season under head coach Jeff Thomas. Lewis and Clark tries to even their Northwest Conference record at 2-2. The 2-3 overall mark coming into today's 7th season with head coach Jay Losey leading the way. Hayden Moses set to kick it off for the Pioneers, senior out of Hayward, California. And 2 to return for Puget Sound. Low line drive kick sent to the near sideline, goes out of bounds shy of the 15-yard line. So right off the bat, Puget Sound, excellent starting field position. Puget Sound starts from their own 35 with senior quarterback Murdoch Rutledge. The Everett Washington senior 6'5", 185. But instead, Puget Sound is going to have Lewis and Clark re-tee after a 5-yard loss. Devontae Henderson, the freshman from Tacoma, on the near side for Lewis and Clark. And it appears to be A.J. Johnson on the opposite side. A.J. Johnson and Rutledge back after outstanding seasons in 2019. Even Johnson back in 2018 was an all-region selection. So these two are veterans with this Puget Sound program. Pioneers re-tee it back at the 30-yard line, kicking left to right. The wind is slightly blowing in that direction, but not a significant wind. It's in the low to mid-50s today. UFO-style kick. Johnson on the hop, lets it get past him, rolls into the end zone, And so after all that, instead of Puget Sound starting at the 35, the Loggers start at the 25. Rutledge is 6'5". Both of the quarterbacks, Jack Hanich is the other at 6'4", have really solid height for Thomas and the Loggers. Sean Miller is the left side guard, a sophomore. And then Caleb Soatoa is going to start left tackle. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line after the penalty was accepted by the Loggers. Rutledge 4 wide. High snap up at his helmet. Throws to the near side and deflected away, intended for Johnson. Justin Hope broke it up. George Fournier is the center, sophomore out of California. And then Griffin Hartshorn is the right tackle, as Fournier is on the right guard spot. Running back is Silas Washington, senior out of Sacramento. 2nd and 10 from the 20, Puget Sound's opening drive. Snap to Rutledge, looks right, quick throw, caught just past the 30. Anakin Mares makes the tackle. Receptions made by Isaiah Jurenz. Jurenz, 6'1", 192 out of Lacey, Washington. The center for Puget Sound is Jackson Dennis, offensive lineman out of Happy Valley, Oregon, which is a Portland area suburb out on the far east side. 3rd down and 4, Puget Sound has to get past the 35-yard line. Long snap count for Rutledge. Low snap this time, brought up at the hip, throwing right in traffic. Johnson has it popped free. Maris from Johnson's left, able to disconnect the ball from the receiver. And Lewis and Clark forces a 3 and out. The punter is Alex Everett. Everett's out of Bellingham, Washington, set to kick it to Aiden Verba Hamilton, averaging 10 yards per return, has a 53-yard punt return touchdown this year. Snap, Everett, big right leg, kicks Verba Hamilton back over his left shoulder, receives it, reverses field, 20-yard line to the near hash mark, gets positive yardage, and blockers up the near sideline, 30, cuts inward, 40, across midfield, reverses, pointing out, directions. Verba Hamilton a block. Big hit, draws a penalty, and at the 20-yard line, Verba Hamilton's brought down by 7 different Loggers. A big return for the senior for Lewis and Clark. We await the penalty. An illegal chop block against Puget Sound. The Loggers are called for a penalty that moves Lewis and Clark closer to the goal. So Lewis and Clark has their opening possession. The Pioneers from the 10-yard line, just inside the 10. It's 1st and goal. 15 seconds past the 14-minute mark of the opening quarter. What a return for Verba Hamilton. Lewis and Clark from the Puget Sound 9. Cruz Montana's the quarterback out of Eureka, California, 6'2", 195. The running back is Elijah McGee. On roster is a wide receiver. Snap to Montana, handoff left, McGee to the near pylon, hurdles in, touchdown, Lewis and Clark. McGee's first rushing touchdown of the year, and here comes Alex Koga to kick the PAT. Koga 7 for 7 in his last 7 field goal attempts, including 5 last week. This one, though, an extra point to give the Pios a 7-0 lead. Now the hold of Isaac Cordova. The kick is up and into the tent. It's good. 7-0 Lewis and Clark. Big punt return. First play from scrimmage. And Lewis and Clark leads on Pios Stream. Lewis and Clark kicks off with a 7-0 lead. Another UFO-style kick. This time Johnson fields it cleanly from the 10, 20, 30-yard line, cuts to the near sideline. And taken out of bounds. Hope played up, as did Adrian Daffy, to help force Johnson out of bounds. But that first series was not what Puget Sound likely could have dreamed of, nearly what they could have expected, clearly, because they ended up taking a penalty on the kickoff that would have put them at the 35 and instead had Lewis and Clark re-kick, and then it was misplayed. And so Puget Sound started back at the 25. They're under center with Rutledge. Second possession of the game for the Loggers. Handoff right side. And Washington, good run off right tackle and gets up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 8. And then the punt after the 3 and out, and Lewis and Clark returns it all the way to the Loggers' 20-yard line. Offset backs, handoff Washington, same play, side, not the identical play, and a gain of 2. First down for Puget Sound. Washington is in his senior year, averages 4.1 yards per carry, has 6 touchdowns this year. The other back is Simon Yim, 5'11", 230 out of Tacoma, averages 3.5 per carry. Split backs, handoff right side, Washington out of an arm tackle and taken down after a quick 2-yard gain. Pioneers had Alex Hensley helping lead the way with Sam Meinhard. Those are 2 excellent linebackers for Lewis and Clark. Jake Bushman's on the right outside linebacker spot. As right now, Lewis and Clark 4 down linemen. Cameron Chang on the near side defensive end position. And then Nico Lang is on the left side. Second down and 8 Loggers. Handoff Washington right side through a good hole. Nice kick out block by Yim. A gain of 2 again. It sets up 3rd and 6. Ari Bleemer and Ramson Paz are the interior defensive linemen for Lewis and Clark, a senior and sophomore respectively. McConnell LeBoy and Anakin Mares are the senior defensive backs at the corner spots. Justin Colvin from Sacramento and Tanner Ono out of Honolulu are the safeties. Loggers huddle, send Johnson split to the left, lined up across from LeBoy. Former all-conference selections paired against each other, 3rd and 6. To the right side again, this time Washington cuts it back to the left, and after a low tackle by Colvin, didn't bring him down about the first down line, an extra 6 yards down to the Lewis and Clark 40. 11:30 to play, opening quarter. Lewis and Clark leads 7-0, officially marked at the 42. Quick tempo, handoff Washington. Those trap plays are working right now for the Loggers. That one's the shortest on this drive, a gain of nothing. Colvin looked a little shaken up on the second to last play. He stays in at the safety spot. Hensley's the linebacker to that side. Same formation. This time a straight dive play, and Washington's to the second level, racing up the far sideline, and Washington's into the end zone. Touchdown, Puget Sound. Flag sits back at the 30-yard line. And the holding call against Puget Sound is going to cancel a 42-yard touchdown. It happened 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, so it's still a gain of 2. Stays second down, 2nd and 8 for Puget Sound, but they still trail 7-0. The Loggers down 7-0. All of the runnings going to the right from the near side running back, Silas Washington. Snap on 2nd and 8, handoff that way. And this time Paz kind of got extra effort to push Hartshorn into the backfield. It's a loss of maybe a half yard. Paz 6'1", 270 out of Hawaii, sophomore year. Definitely one of the key rotation defensive tackles for Lewis and Clark. Pioneers going 4-3 still defensively. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. 3rd down and 8. Handoff, Washington had quick breathing room. Bushman trying to get him down low, able to squeeze out of that tackle and gain an additional yard or 2. And it's down to Lewis and Clark 33. Sets up 4th down and 2. Clock under 10 minutes to play first quarter. Puget Sound down 7-0. Loggers on 4th down this year. 2nd best in the Northwest Conference, top 60 in the nation, converting 23 of 41. Right side tight ends for the Loggers. Gerard Dezzuti. Handoff Washington, that side, 1st down, sidesteps inside of Dezzuti and gets the 1st down run all the way down to the Lewis and Clark 28. Dezzuti's in his senior year. First and 10, Puget Sound convert the 4th down. There's 2 tight ends that direction. The interior one on the right is Austin Knight. Yim to the right of Washington, handoff again, big hole. Meinhard makes the tackle, but a 1st down run of 4. Nearly 5. Puget Sound 7th in total offense in the conference and came in with the 5th best passing offense and 7th best rushing offense. But right now, running the ball is working against Lewis and Clark. Conference's 6th best rushing defense. Johnson stays split to the left. 2nd down and 5. You hear the check coming in from the sideline. 2nd and 6. Handoff Washington again, right side. And untouched for about 3 yards off the right side of the line, and then works it forward for an additional yard. 3rd and 1. Justin Hope comes out of the game for Lewis and Clark. Bushman returns. Drive started at the Puget Sound 32-yard line. They're the Lewis and Clark 20. Into the red zone go the Loggers. Pioneers 5 down linemen. Johnson's on the opposite side. Handoff left, and Washington able to plunge through for another 1st down carry. Hensley, Marvin Pusung Zita in the vicinity on the tackle. Lang is back in. Out goes Rusty Nozo for Lewis and Clark. 14th play of this drive. Puget Sound down 7-0, 7:04 to play first quarter. Johnson split right. Handoff, Washington, huge hole. Gets away from the defender and goes into the end zone. A 13-yard TD score for Washington. And that was a huge drive. Loggers are 1 point away from evening the match. Everett on for the PAT out of the hold of Rutledge. Fake, Rutledge left side, easy 2-point conversion. DeZutti brings it in, and it's an 8-7 lead for Puget Sound. The first 2-point conversion of the year. 8-7, Puget Sound leads, 6:55 to go in the first on Pios Street. A big answer drive for the Puget Sound Loggers. 14 plays, 68 yards. And 6:44 off the clock. A 13-yard run for Silas Washington, who carried the ball all 14 plays. I don't recall a single one where Washington didn't get the handoff. Big work from the Puget Sound senior. The Loggers lead 8-7. Kickoff on the ground, skipped, taken by the up man. 30-yard line, that's Daffy. 40-yard line twisted down, and Lewis and Clark good field position to start its second possession. Lewis and Clark scored on the first play from scrimmage for the Lewis and Clark offense, but that feels like 2 games ago because of that long sustained drive for the Loggers. 43-yard line for Cruz Montana and the Pioneers offense. Matt Cassens on the left side of the line with Mercury Campagno, a junior and senior respectively. Cruz Montana with McGee, the running back, to his right. Snap, 1st and 10, throw out to McGee. Catches it in the flat, 40-yard line up the field, real fast and twisted out about the 45-yard line of Puget Sound. Play was made by the Loggers. It was Culpepper who made the stop. First down, Lewis and Clark. McGee starting in the backfield, came in today, having rushed just 6 times on the year. Snap, Montana left side, McGee in stride, catches it. Sidesteps a defender and twisted down. Kevin Somel made the play. Pioneers first down, a gain of 11. Alex Sandoval, Nathan Lean, the right side of the line. Michael Lloyd is the freshman center. 1st and 10, Pioneers trailing 8-7. The Loggers 33, play action. In route, and Verba Hamilton could not make the catch. Coverage that time by Jason Barber, the defensive back. Pioneers 2nd and 10. Noah Hobbs in the slot near side, junior out of Clackamas, Oregon, with Verba Hamilton split to the near side. Trey Morris, the quarterback, throws right to McGee, and McGee is shoved out of bounds. Morris, in his sophomore year out of Seattle, Washington, has played in a couple of games so far this year. McGee to his left. Sean Bodie as a split out receiver left. Snap, Morris throws over the middle, incomplete. intended for Isaac Cordova, cutting in from the left slot. Sets up 2nd and 10. Six-foot, 200-pound quarterback, Morris. Motions McGee out, running play for Morris. Keeper through the middle, almost squeezed through, got tripped up on his right foot and dropped at the 17-yard line. Otherwise, he has first down yardage, and Morris comes out for Montana. Late substitution, Pioneers on 3rd and 4. Shifting personnel, Reed Fong is in. Running back to the right of Montana. 3 receivers left, 3rd and 4. Throw, Fong caught it, had it popped free. Big hit for Puget Sound. It's Lucas Varela. Senior separates the ball. And here comes the Pioneers field goal unit. Now Alex Koga is the kicker. His longest of the year, 37 yards. This, the hold of Isaac Cordova, is going to be an attempt of 34 yards. Koga has not missed in 7 straight tries, is 7 of 9 on the year. Right hat smarts to give Lewis and Clark the lead. Sends it, and it's wide to the left. No good. .506 to play. Puget Sound 8, Lewis and Clark 7. And we've seen a whole bunch of interesting stuff so far in this homecoming game. 5:06 left in the first. A 14-play drive that consisted of 14 Silas Washington runs. A declined penalty on the kickoff, and Lewis and Clark with a big punt return. Lewis and Clark scoring on the first play from scrimmage. Multiple quarterbacks for the Pioneers. An entertaining first quarter, and on the third Puget Sound drive, it's Murdoch Rutledge under center. Handoff, Washington right side. And Bleemer stops the rusher after a gain of 1. Randy Heath is the Lewis and Clark defensive coordinator. 4th season on the staff. First as defensive coordinator, replaced Eric Jackson, who's now a recruiting advisor for the Pios. Jackson was the longest tenured coach for Lewis and Clark, predating head coach Jay Losey. 2nd and 9. Tim, the running back, to the near side. Washington behind the quarterback Rutledge. Lead play to the left. Quick gain of 3. Maris was even in on the tackle with Bushman. Maris came in all the way from the left corner position. Big 3rd and 5 play here. Rutledge under center. Puget Sound's 2 of 4 on 3rd down so far. Handoff Washington, first down carry. It seems like if the Loggers are able to get Washington to that next level, not even really the second level per se, but just getting past the front of the Lewis and Clark defense, that's enough to spring them for an additional 5 or 6 yards. Pioneers are containing Washington, but he's getting 3 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. He did break out a run that was a 42-yard touchdown called back because of a penalty. Yim's the deep back, Washington to the left, motion from the far side. This one goes to Yim for the first time. And the 5'11", 230-pound running back, a gain of 4. Linebackers likely will have a lot of tackles in this game. Bushman comes out. Right arm kind of dangling, replaced by Logan Herman. Herman is a sophomore out of Los Altos, California. Middle linebacker to the near side. And that whistle blows before the play. timeout taken by Lewis and Clark. Let's step away briefly. 2:46 to go in the first quarter. 8-7 lead for Puget Sound on Pios Stream. .246 to play. Opening quarter from Portland. Puget Sound scores on a 14-play, 68-yard drive. A possession to go. Lewis and Clark scored on their opening play from scrimmage after a lengthy punt return. This is a 2nd and 5 facing Puget Sound. Right to left, they've been just running the ball with Silas Washington over and over and over again. This time Washington right side, big block. And another big game, Bleemer got shoved. I want to say it was Hearthstone who made the play on that one. Nice kick out block. Just shy of the first down. It's 3rd and under 1. Johnson to the near side. Washington behind Rutledge. Handoff Washington left side. Cuts back to the right and has enough for a first down through the middle. Another gain of 4. 6th play of the drive. Gets Puget Sound a first down with 1:57 to go opening quarter with an 8-7 lead. Puget Sound trying to win its first game of the year. Lewis and Clark trying to beat the Loggers for the 2nd straight year. 1st and 10, Rutledge under center, shy of midfield. Washington, huge hole to the left. And between the hash marks, first down carry into the Lewis and Clark half, down to the 39, a pickup of 13. Pioneers are getting tired. DJ Smith was in on that. Runs out. Paz is back in on the interior with David Seha. Pioneers have been on the field for a long time. 1st and 10 from the Lewis and Clark 39. Washington right side. That time Yim picked up a block to spring him for 3. Able to block Meinhardt. Gain of 4 officially, down to the 35. Puget Sound averages 94 rushing yards per game coming into this. Already at 123, Washington is just shy of 120. Second down and 6. Handoff Yim, space to the right. Ono came up to help make the play, but not enough to stop him shy of the first down. First down carry for Yim to Lewis and Clark 29 with 8 seconds to play in the first. And it is cold in Portland, and right now Puget Sound is running the football, leading 8-7 at the end of the first quarter from Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon. This is Pios Stream. A big rushing first quarter for Puget Sound. Loggers opened up the second quarter with an 8-7 lead. And the 10th play of the drive upcoming that started back at the Lewis and Clark 20. Washington and the Loggers leading on a 13-yard touchdown run by Washington on the last possession. Lewis and Clark scored on a 4-yard rush by McGee with 13:44 to go in the first quarter. This is methodical football from Jeff Thomas and the Puget Sound Loggers. 1st and 10 from the Lewis and Clark 29. Left to right, white with maroon pants and helmets. Rutledge under center. Handoff, Washington. Cuts inside. Seha was blocking the corner. And Washington able to propel forward for a gain of 8. Rushes of 4 yards, 6 yards, 13 yards to end that first quarter. Puget Sound is getting about 3 or 4 yards per carry and sustaining the drive. This one was a 7-yard gain for 2nd and 3. Pioneers wide on the defensive front, and that time it helped. Nice play. Seha went low and grabbed the leg of Yim. No gain. Maybe a half yard. Sets up a 3rd and short. Right now the Loggers averaging 6 yards per carry. Four of 6 on 3rd down for Puget Sound. Seha on the near side. Has on the left side, excuse me, the right side. And the whistle blows before the snap. Timeout taken by Puget Sound. Loggers' first timeout of the half. Lewis and Clark has used one as well. Elsewhere for Lewis and Clark Athletics, Lewis and Clark women's soccer competing against Pacific today. Pioneers have had quite a season so far. Right now, a 1-0 lead in the 77th minute for Lewis and Clark soccer. With Celestia Rifles with a goal, her 10th of the season. After the Puget Sound timeout, 3rd and 3. Handoff Washington to the right side, and Meinhard swerves in, able to make the tackle right at the line to gain. It appears like Washington has it, and he does. So that's a big 3rd down carry after the timeout for Puget Sound. Drive continues. 13th play of the drive upcoming. 8-7 lead for Puget Sound. Loggers had put up 28 points last week against George Fox, and then 6 and 7 the prior 2 weeks against Pacific and Linfield. Yim this time kind of stumbled, but able to keep his feet and drive the pile forward down to the 12-yard line of Lewis and Clark. Coming into today, Yim had carried 18 times for 63 yards. Does have a touchdown on the year. Yim's 4th rush, 19 yards. And down to Lewis and Clark 12, a gain of 7 on 1st down. Griswold Stadium crowd gets louder. Motion from the left. Handoff Yim. Defender was pushed in the backfield by Paz. Yim bounced off of the offensive lineman, but then rolled to the right and gains more yardage. Pick up a 4 to the 8-yard line. And Lewis and Clark on the last 2 drives by Puget Sound have faced 14 plays, and this is the 15th play. Lewis and Clark's drive in the interim was not terribly lengthy. Missed field goal by Alex Koga. First and goal, Puget Sound. Right hash mark from the Lewis and Clark 8. Play action, Rutledge rolling to the left. Foot race, LeBoy trying to close the gap. Pylon dive. And Rutledge is in. Touchdown, Puget Sound. If you were to ask me prior to seeing the split back formation from the Loggers, I would have thought the unique play that would come off of that would have been a fade or a throw to Johnson. Instead, Rutledge bootlegs out left and scores an 8-yard rushing touchdown, his second rushing TD of the year. Last time, Dezzutti caught a 2-point conversion on a fake kick. This time, Everett sends it through. And a 15-7 lead for Puget Sound. 15 plays, 80 yards. A huge drive for Puget Sound of 8.5 minutes. It's 15-7 on Pios Street. .37 to go second quarter, and Lewis and Clark trails 15-7. Pioneers faced Pacific Lutheran a couple weeks ago and trailed 35-10. 15-7 the score. Lewis and Clark trailing by 8. Pioneers played PLU a couple weeks ago, and Lewis and Clark facing an onside kick here. Play is made. Nice hands by Keegan Hawley with a penalty marker out thrown at the Puget Sound line of scrimmage for that kickoff. Nice play by the Lewis and Clark senior out of Sweet Home, Oregon. Offside on Puget Sound. Lewis and Clark benefits from great field position with 11:34 to go in the second quarter. Great play by Hawley, ready for it. That game against Pacific Lutheran, Pios trailed 35-10, ultimately lost 38-37. And part of that sequence was recovering an onside kick. Their own. This time they stopped the Puget Sound trying to catch Lewis and Clark off guard. Second of 3 drives to start for Lewis and Clark in Puget Sound territory. Montana. Handoff left side. And McGee has a gain across the 30 and down to the 29. Good first down carry, McGee. A little bit of a surprise start at running back. Tony Rangel had gotten the heavy carries last week. McGee, play action, throw over the middle, and incomplete, intended for Brendan Hobbs. And Varela had a chance at a pick in the middle of the field. Incomplete, 3rd and 1. Quinn Williamson, the near side defensive end. Far side is Ezekiel Sayebong. Mason Bridges in the middle. Pioneers 3rd and 1. Double tight end set. Fullback Logan Herman, handoff McGee, hurdles over and has the first down. Pioneers have brought in Daffy out of Germany and Aaron Kraus on the right side for the tight end from Portland Sunset High School. He comes off. Jonathan Newsom is back off a couple of games missing because of injury. Wide receiver to the left. Snap, Cruz Montana, 1st and 10. Looks to the right, carries it, squeezes through. Campagno, and able to be twisted down at the 18-yard line, a gain of 8 for Montana. Montana ran more than he's ever ran in his career last week at Willamette. Pioneers beat the Bearcats 43-41 in the wagon wheel game. Montana 16 rushes, 48 yards, and a touchdown. 2nd and 8, snap Montana. Pressured in his face, throws a high lobber, caught by McGee, penalty marker out as Montana tackled in the backfield. Pioneers for the moment a 1st down to McGee. Pressure came from Puget Sound's Landon Sherman, freshman linebacker out of Beaverton, Oregon. Pioneers get a 1st down off the penalty. There was no penalty, so the result of the play, the 1st down. Pioneers down 15-7, 10 minutes to play, 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 from the Puget Sound 13. Newsom to the left, Verba Hamilton to the right. The running back is McGee, double tight end set. Handoff, McGee squeezes through, penalty marker out, rushes toward the pylon far side and is short. Initial gain of 11. Lloyd called for the hold. It looked like Lloyd was the pulling center. And on the corner commits the hold. 2 tight ends out, 2 receivers back in, Cordova and Hobbs. Penalty against Lewis and Clark with 10:01 to play in the 2nd quarter. And Lewis and Clark trailing 15-7. Loggers had scored on the prior 2 drives, leading into this possession for Lewis and Clark. McGee, the running back. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Montana claps and then looks to the sideline. Cade Knighton and JT Willis sending signals, backup quarterback. Snap to Montana. Throw, caught by McGee. Stutters, cuts to the opposite side of the field. Across the 15, and then piled up there, a gain of about 8. Newsom had a big first game of the year at Claremont Mud Scripps and had not dressed for about the last 2 or 3. Split to the left side. Montana, the quarterback, 2nd and 12. McGee, left side, tries to cut back, breaks a tackle, and goes up the far hash marks and gets something out of nothing. Broke the tackle of Bridges, shed off the 5'11", 285-pound sophomore. Third down and 5 for Lewis and Clark. McGee is out, Rangel is in. Pioneers on 3rd down, 1 of 2. Hobbs and Verba Hamilton to the right. Snap to Montana, play action. Montana pumps, rolls left, penalty marker is out, throws, tipped up and incomplete at the goal line, intended for Cordova. Penalty marker was thrown well before that pass was released, looking in the direction of where Newsom was in his matchup with, I think, Ethan Kearns. This is a big marker with 8:33 to play, 2nd quarter. So it's offsetting holding penalties. They called the safety Marion Culpepper. So Pioneers get another try on 3rd down from the right side hash mark. McGee comes back in as the running back. 4 down lineman, Puget Sound. Pioneers down by 8. First down if they get past the 4. Option play, Montana hit, can't be brought down, trying to stay on his feet and couldn't get away. Tackle for loss by Seavong. The Pioneers send out the field goal unit with 8:20. Koga tried on the last possession, missed from 34 yards out, his first missed field goal. The last 4 tries. He was the Northwest Conference Special Teams Student Athlete of the Week after putting through 5 against Willamette. This is an attempt of 27 yards. And it's good. Pioneers get points. The key will be what happens defensively as Puget Sound has back-to-back touchdown drives of 14 plays and 15 plays. We'll have that for you next. 7:49 to go, second quarter. Puget Sound 15, Lewis and Clark 10 on Pios Street. Here comes a big moment in this game. 7:49 left, second quarter. Puget Sound 15, Lewis and Clark 10. The Pioneers played this game against Puget Sound, the finale of 2019, and ended up winning 33-21, but outscored Puget Sound 26-7 in the second half. And right now, the Loggers have found a formula that works with the running back Silas Washington. Kick ran up on at the 10, 20-yard line. Swerving to the 30, breaking a tackle and stumbling forward across the 35. Nice return by Washington. He's doing it everything. Returned the ball that time all the way to the Puget Sound 37-yard line. Excuse me. The 37 for Puget Sound, 38 officially. Last drive started at the Puget Sound 20. Same formation. Again, 29 straight plays out of this formation. 28 runs by either Yim or Washington. This time in the backfield, Washington's dropped for a loss. Nice play for Lewis and Clark. As Nico Lang. Lang's wearing his, I believe, 3rd different jersey number this season. He's worn 92. 43, and today he wears 38. And finally, Puget Sound is out of that formation. 2nd and 13. Rutledge back to throw. Steps up in the pocket, grabbed from the backside, and brought down Cameron Chang. Chang gets his 2nd sack of the season. He had 1.5 coming into today, but he was a terror last week. Got a lot of pressure when the Willamette quarterback was scrambling. Those kind of plays where it looks like a sack, feels like a sack, just doesn't stat as a sack. 3rd and long for Puget Sound. 3 down linemen for the Pios. Draw play. Washington tried to get away, and Meinhard makes the stop after a gain of 5. And the Pioneers force their 2nd 3 and out of the afternoon. That first play by Lang set the tone. Dropped Washington for a loss. Now here comes the punt unit. Last return for Lewis and Clark was huge. Went for about 60 yards. High snap, Everett brings it down. And is into it. Verba Hamilton from the 25. Goes around the block of Colvin to the near side. 30-yard line. Cuts inside, squeezes through, and is tripped up just past the 40. Tackle's made by Jason Link. That was a key drive for Lewis and Clark. The Pioneers quickly get the football back. 5:37 to go. One other element of this game that plays in the Lewis and Clark's favor, the Pioneers kick to start the game. Lewis and Clark has the right to the football in the second half. Cruz Montana back out. 3 of 6 passing. This is a trick play. Flip back from Newsom all by himself. Verba Hamilton caught at the 28. Foot race, breaks a tackle, 10, and he's in. Touchdown, Lewis and Clark. And Verba Hamilton's exhausted. The punt return, the first play from scrimmage, and Lewis and Clark leads again 16-15. Koga's on for a PAT, quick snap, and the kick is up and through. 58-yard Aiden Verba Hamilton. Touchdown reception. His second of the season. Lewis and Clark up 17-15 on Pios Stream. Kickoff fielded, going to the left side, and Puget Sound has the football back with 5:17 to go in the second.
All right, sounds good, Lily. Thank you. It is definitely within your right.
All right, 1st and 10, Puget Sound. 5th possession for the Loggers starts from their own 33-yard line. A 3-and-out last time. Go back to the split backs formation. 1st and 10 handoff. Washington to the near side. Meinhard stacks him up, pulls him back, limits to a gain of 1. Credit Puget Sound's front. They have a lot of extra personnel, as we mentioned, with the couple of tight ends that they've added. The Zuddy out of Woodside, California, caught a 2-point conversion. They've used a lot of him and Austin Knight, but also the offensive linemen. They've really blocked hard for Silas Washington. Right now, George Fournier is the near side offensive lineman, the tackle. 2nd down and 9. Handoff into the backfield. Washington is stalled by Paz. It's enough to force maybe a half-yard gain. Paz really wanted that TFL, but did his job to stall Washington, and now sets up a 3rd and 9. The extra tight ends, Yim, come off. Johnson split to the near side. Far side receiver is Jurenz, 1 of 3 on the left. Washington stays in as the back, 3rd down and 9. Six on the snap clock, 3 rush for Lewis and Clark. Rutledge to the left side, caught on the in routes. Nice reception made. Jurenz into the midfield area. Big gain of 16. First and 10 from midfield. Loggers stay in the formation. Liam Smith and Christian Niemela are to the left side with Jurenz, who makes his 24th reception of the year. Johnson one-on-one coverage with Mares on the near side. Snap. Rutledge pumps, throws. Johnson caught. And stiff arm freeze and little extra yardage brought out by Hensley. Penalty marker in the backfield. The initial spot out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Excuse me, the 43-yard line. Nico Lang whistled for roughing the passer. So a big 16-yard pass to Jurenz on 3rd down. And then you have the 15-yard penalty. And with 3:12 to go in the second quarter, 17-15. Lewis and Clark leading Puget Sound, but the Loggers quickly to the Lewis and Clark 27-yard line. Same formation, right side hash marks. Center for Puget Sound, Jackson Dennis. Snap to Rutledge. 5-person rush, throw to the near side, looking for Johnson, incomplete. Mares had great coverage in front of Johnson, the former all-region receiver. So that brings up 2nd down. Mares has been great in his senior season out of La Puente, California, leads the Pioneers with 39 tackles and often breaks up passes. He was 3rd in the conference with 14 breakups the last season the Pios played in 2019. 2nd and 10 for Puget Sound. Snap, Rutledge up at the helmet, throws to the right side. Out route caught. Johnson a routine throw and catch. And it's a 1st down for Puget Sound to the Lewis and Clark 16, a gain of 11. Johnson 41 catches this season, set a single season receiving record for yards in 2018 with just shy of 1,100. 16-yard line of Lewis and Clark for Puget Sound, down 17-15. 2.5 to play in the second quarter. Four on the snap clock. Washington up the middle, stalled, cuts right, and it goes over the top of Hensley for additional yards down to the 11, a 5-yard gain. Working toward the tent for homecoming. At halftime, stay with us. We'll broadcast the introduction of the Hall of Famers as they're announced. 6 inductees yesterday at the Hall of Fame dinner, celebrating both classes of 2020 and 2021. Jurenz and Johnson flip sides. 2nd down and 5 for Puget Sound. Washington to the left hip of Rutledge. Rutledge gets the snap, looks left, throws in route, and this time Johnson slides in and makes the catch. Touchdown, Puget Sound. And another lengthy drive for Puget Sound. An 11-yard TD. That one's about an 8-play drive. Everett on for the point after. Puts it through. 22-17. Lewis and Clark trails now by 5. And Puget Sound a very solid first half for the winless Loggers. 3 and outs, and other than that, they've scored touchdowns. TDs on 3 of the 5 possessions so far. Lewis and Clark off a 58-yard reception by Verva Hamilton will go back to work with 1:29. And this is, again, still a good situation for the Pios. More than enough time. 2 timeouts remaining for Lewis and Clark to find a way to score before the end of the first half and get the ball back to start the second. Congratulations, Jim Tersey from Lewis and Clark Women's Soccer. The Celeste Rifles' 49th minute goal enough to secure a 1-0 win on the road against the Pacific Boxers. Pioneers will be at Pacific Lutheran tomorrow at noon. Back-to-back road games. Rainy and cold. Desmond Holton awaits the kickoff. It's supposed to be in the low 50s, but people are dressed out there like it's in the 40s. It's been wet the whole game. A short kick. Bounces at the 20. Holton, fingertips, has it. Gets a block to the near side. Cuts inside another block and is taken out right at midfield. Good run back from the freshman who already has a kick return touchdown this year. Warren Cisneros Barber made the tackle. Pioneers start from their own 49-yard line with 1:21 remaining. Yeah, Holton, an 85-yard kickoff return TD earlier this year. The Pioneers go to work, 1st and 10. Elijah McGee has been the running back the entire game for Lewis and Clark. Quick snap out to the flat right side. McGee sprinting toward the outside, able to get about a yard. Taken out by Sherman, the linebacker. McGee averaging 7.3 yards per carry today. Pioneers have given him 4 tries, excuse me. 2nd down and 8. Quarterback draw. Montana, right side spins. Kind of unnecessarily, but his back pedal, his change in direction was enough to get him across the 40. Pioneers have 1:10 as they pause the clock for the chains. Trying to get footballs exchanged and dried on a rainy day. Handoff McGee, lots of room right side, angles to the sideline and hit out of bounds. Penalty marker at the end. The hit was by Trevino Lewis. McGee took a lick after a gain of about 7. The 1:01 remaining. Pioneers might be moved closer to the goal. They called it a late hit out of bounds. Seth Nielsen is the official. And this is where you get McGee involved in a lot of ways. Pioneers had hoped to do that at the beginning of the year anyway. That was what assistant head coach, offensive coordinator Joe Bushman said. But McGee has proven that that's a good idea. 25 yards per catch this year, 6.3 yards per carry coming into today. Playmaker, and he's the primary running back. 1st and 10 from the 16 for Lewis and Clark. 22-17 deficit facing the Pios. 2 timeouts. Newsom split out to the left side. Verva Hamilton wide right. The slots are Cordova and Hobbs. McGee, nice block. Penalty marker's out though. It was too nice. I thought Hobbs came in from the slot. Made a good play. Might have went too low. Pioneers just trying to set the edge out on the right side to give McGee some running room. 57 seconds left. Hobbs made an illegal block, so that pushes the ball back 15 yards. So kind of an exchange on what was gained on the late hit. And the Pioneers, though, have a long way to go now. First and 20. Down 22-17. Same formation. Montana to the line. Snap. End around. Verba Hamilton trying to cut inside. Able to salvage something, but back to the line of scrimmage. Great work by Saya Vong to stall Verba Hamilton, and the Pioneers use their second timeout.
No, you're fine. All the audio comes from in here, so I'll coordinate all that. They can talk as much as they want.
So the Pioneers use their second timeout. Jay Losey, the head coach for Lewis and Clark in his 7th season, national championship winning coach, the Division III level, came over to Lewis and Clark after a long time assistant coaching role at Oregon State. Renato Felina in the center of the huddle wearing the orange polo. Coached a long time at Clackamas High School with assistant head coach, offensive coordinator Joe Bushman. Felina is the offensive line coach. Pioneers go back out, second down and 24. One timeout remaining. Sixth play of the drive, Lewis and Clark trying to answer back. Had a good amount of lead changes in this game. Puget Sound recaptured it in an 11-yard touchdown throw to A.J. Johnson. Montana the snap. Good protection, throws left, open receiver, caught at the 10. Cordova's out of bounds, but has the first down. Varela made the stop. Stops the clock with 43 seconds left. Pioneers preserve a timeout as well. Big play from the transfer from Occidental. Cordova's 10th catch of the year. Pioneers first. Oh, did not get the first down. Excuse me. They're short. Third down and 4. Montana caught in. McGee, touchdown, Lewis and Clark. Out and in for McGee. And the Pioneers score to take the lead 23-22. Pioneers go for 2. McGee's 4th receiving touchdown of the year. Puget Sound shifting personnel as Lewis and Clark goes for 2. I formation, Logan Herman, the fullback. And Puget Sound uses its second timeout. Take a look at the replay with this timeout. It was a big play by McGee out of the backfield, and that's one thing that you can really do is when you have a wide receiver who has route running skills, the likes of McGee out of the backfield, it gives you an extra dynamic. Pioneers have put in a 2-point conversion this year. So right now the rain seems to have paused briefly. It rained a ton, as you see the replay throw over the middle of Montana. Nice catch to McGee. A lot of rain in the very early morning, probably up until about 10 a.m. So the field was wet, let alone the rain continuing even into this point of the game. Quick snap, play action, rolling right. Montana has a receiver, and it's caught by Kraus. And the Pioneers take a 3-point lead. Eric Kraus, the tallest guy on the team. 6'6", 215, might be his first points of his career. They're big. 39 seconds left. Lewis and Clark up 25-22. What a game. A lot of surprises today. Didn't expect to see McGee in the backfield. Didn't expect to see split back 29 straight runs from the Loggers. I mean, don't get me wrong. Good game planning, but Rutledge is just so much fun to see at quarterback throwing the ball. And Johnson's such a great receiver. I did not expect such a ground attack from Puget Sound today. 35 rushing attempts and 8 passes for the Loggers. (25-22). Lewis and Clark leads. Final 39 seconds, second quarter. Hayden Moses puts it on the ground. And it's picked up by Isaiah Gerenz. He takes a knee. He was an up player on that return team. Seems to me you do that to try to preserve clock. 37 seconds left and 1 timeout for Puget Sound. Although the Loggers get into a kneel down formation, Pioneers have the right to the football in the second half. And they do, they take a kneel down. Huh? Entertaining first half, and Lewis and Clark goes in the locker room with a 25-22 lead. Again, marked difference between the last time these two teams met in Portland. Lewis and Clark had to outscore the Loggers 26-7 in the second half to win by 12. So stay tuned. Coming up, we're going to have introductions of the halftime, or of the Hall of Famers during halftime. Lily, you can go to a break. I'll let you know when we get started for that in just a little bit on Pios Stream.
My number one job is to develop people, and my belief is if that we do that, that winning will take care of itself.
My philosophy is to develop habits of success in individuals, in groups.
Inducted posthumously as a Lifetime Achievement in Sport Award winner, the 1964 graduate Nate Jones was a member of the 1963 undefeated Pioneers football, which he played defensive back and place kicker. Over his 4 seasons, the Pios were 27-8-1, and the 1963 team was inducted into the Lewis and Clark Athletics Hall of Fame in 1994. After college, Jones became a teacher, principal, and administrator in the Portland public school system for 34 years, was the president of the Portland Football Association. He coached and officiated various sports, including spending 25 years as a National Football League official. Jones broke into the NFL in 1977 as a line judge, moved during the following year to the side judge position, and stayed there for the next 22 years, adding 3 more as a replay official. During this time, he worked 10 playoff games, 4 wild card rounds, 3 divisional playoffs, 2 conference championship games, and Super Bowl 34. He worked for the 1981 Pro Bowl, and he was also an inductee in the Oregon Sports and Portland Interscholastic League Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Nate Jones. Our second Lifetime Achievement in the Sports inductee was from the class of 1984, Pablo Arizmendi, a world and national champion. Pablo excelled in the sport of Taekwondo throughout his life. Over a career that spanned the 1970s and 80s, he won 6 gold medals and 4 silver medals in 4 different weight classes, including winning at the 1983 U.S. National Championship while he was a junior at Lewis and Clark. Prior to that, he won a gold medal in the 1978 Pan American Championship and the silver medal in the 1979 World Championships. He competed in the championship tournaments in Mexico, Korea, Taiwan, Germany, and throughout the United States. Let's give it up again for Pablo. Our meritorious service inductee, please welcome back to the Hill former Senior Associate Director of Physical Education and Athletics, Judy McMullen. Judy was a constant presence for the Lewis and Clark Athletics in a career that spanned nearly 20 years and encompassed many different capacities. Judy retired in 2007 after spending 13 years as the Associate Director of Physical Education and the Athletics and Senior Women Administrator as the head women's basketball coach from 1994 to 96. She served on countless NCAA department and institutional committees, was a member of the wide variety of coaching and administrative associations. She was heavily involved in the transition of the department from the NAIA to Division III and was instrumental in elevating the rowing program to varsity status. Additionally, she held the role of interim director of athletics for much of the 2005 and 2006 academic year. Judy returned to the Palatine Hill in 2008 for a second stint in a new capacity as the Senior Associate Director of Physical Education and Athletics for academic support. During her time back, she was able to connect at an even greater level with the students and the campus community. She has both a rowing shell and the department award named in her honor. And once again, a round of applause for Judy McMullen. Our first individual inductee from the class of 1990 is Bob Harris. Bob won the MVP honors at the conference track and field meet in 1988, where he won the 800 meters and the 3,000 meter steeplechase, the latter of which he also won on the district level. A former all-conference and all-district selection, he went on to win conference and district title in the 4x400 meter relay in 1990. The same year, he also won a second conference steeplechase title. He ranks 4th all-time in Lewis and Clark history in the steeplechase and is among the top 20 in the 800 meter, the 1,500 meter, and the 4x400 meter relay. In cross-country, Bob currently ranks 8th in the 8K after turning in a time 24 minutes and 55.9 seconds at Willamette Invitational in 1989. Please join me in a round of applause for Bob Harris. Our second individual inductee from the class of 1992 is Jeff Miller. As Pioneer's all-time leader in receiving yards, touchdown receptions, and yards per catch, Jeff was one of the top targets in a small college football from 1989 to 1992. Additionally, Miller ranks in the top 15 in 3 different track and field events at Lewis and Clark, including as a member of the school record 4x400 meter relay. He placed 3rd in the 200 in the NAIA District 2 Champions in the 1990 and a member of the Pios 1989 and 1991 Hall of Fame football teams. Miller was named Little All-Northwest football team in 1992. The same season, he was a preseason All-America. He earned multiple All-Conference first-team selections. So give it up for Jeff Miller. Our final individual inductee from the class of 2009 is Lindsay Nixon Harvey. Lindsay swam for the Pioneers from 2005 to 2009 and earned 7 all-conference selections by finishing among the top 3 at the Northwest Conference Championships. She won 4 NWC titles, including back-to-back titles in the 400 individual medley in 2006 and 2007. She also won the 200 individual medley in 2006 and 2009. Harvey remains in the top 5 in 3 different events in school history, including a still-standing record in the 400 individual medley. She was also an NCAA provisional qualifier. In 2009, she was recognized as the Pioneer Athletics Club Outstanding Senior Career Award winner. Outside the pool, Harvey was a 4-year member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, including time spent as the co-chair and the NWC vice president. Lindsay was also selected by the conference as the NCAA Women of the Year nominee in 2009. Please give it up for Lindsay Nixon Harvey. Once again, let's hear a big round of applause for all of our Hall of Fame inductees. Roll Pios! Want to remind you of the tailgate extravaganza will remain open through the third quarter.
My number one job is to develop people, and my belief is if that we do that, that winning will take care of itself.
My philosophy is to develop habits of success in individuals, in groups like our position groups, and in the team, so that all individuals involved can reach their potential. To me, pioneers are people who not only have the vision and the ability to dream of doing something big, but then also have the courage and the guts to be able to see it through and complete it.
Being a pioneer, I feel like we embody a family mentality and looking out for each other.
Our relationship's kind of the core of this profession.
It's like a second family to me. Like, they help me out, we got each other's backs, and they'll just help me out in any way possible. Like my second parents.
My relationship with my coaches are really strong. I go to my coaches when I need any sort of help, advice about whether it be football or school, picking out classes, making sure I stay focused and maintain the GPA I want, helping me figure out my abroad programs, things like that.
I take my relationships with my players as being the first and foremost important aspect of my job, just because I think our entire job's dependent on the experience of our student athletes.
There's a strong academic sense of being a pioneer and a strong sense of excelling. I think a strong sense of welcoming differences and allowing yourself to be who you are. And again, I think it's kind of cool because it revolves around Portland. And Portland's a fun place for outdoor programs, fun place for recreation, food, and just activities.
I think people get to be pioneers with just ideas. They're people who execute and do things on grand levels that are in uncharted areas.
I'm Nick Lombardi. Something I've learned at Winterim this year is how to communicate a vision.
My biggest takeaway from Winterim is probably the networking. Getting to talk to everybody, connect with people for the future is one of the most valuable things, and I did Winterim last year, came back for more this year.
I think a way in which my liberal arts education has really helped me and my group formulate our ideas is that concept of critical thinking and having many different backgrounds, me being an econ major and my 2 group mates being chemistry majors. We really get that well-rounded background, well-rounded ideas.
I think overall it's absolutely worth doing. You find yourself not only being more prepared for, say, well, this next semester, on top of being more prepared for life in general.
My favorite spot on campus is like right outside the Dovecote, little benches, and there's flowers growing there, and you can get a little coffee at the Dovecote and sit there.
My favorite spot on campus is definitely the weight room. I get that everybody loves like the gardens or the manor house, but our facilities for athletics here are actually amazing too, and the weight room is definitely my favorite spot.
My favorite spot on campus would either be the glade outside of the athletic facilities or South Campus.
What is my favorite spot on campus? I really like the back porch of the manor house. It looks out on Mount Hood, and on a clear day, it's super beautiful just to sit around with friends.
I'm Casey Jones, and I teach a range of classes: general chemistry, organic chemistry, and also some advanced classes. And I have a research lab that currently I have 4 students working with me as part of the Rogers program. The summer experience is a way to get really deeply involved in the science that is here and be able to start to define what might be what you want to do next. So the brown bag gives our students a chance to explain their research and really show the context and the application of what they're doing to a very broad range of students and faculty.
It's interesting to be able to communicate to other scientists what your work is, and it forces you to learn how to talk about your subject so that not only experts in your field can understand it, but others can understand it as well, which I just believe is a good life skill.
To talk about your research in a way that anybody can understand it really is a valuable experience, and it's something that you don't get a lot of practice for except in these contexts. Because oftentimes you're giving a presentation to a classroom filled with people who know basically the same things that you do, but in a brown bag, you have to be able to explain and provide motivation for everything that you're working on and why it's important and why it's relevant to be studying.
I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. You can see it in my eyes. You can see it in my eyes. I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. I made it. I made it. I ain't planning, I'm just doing what I can be.
back at Griswold Stadium in Portland, getting set for the start of the second half. Lewis and Clark with a 25-22 lead over the top of the Puget Sound Loggers. Ryan Goff back with you. Thank you for joining us. A rainy day in Portland on homecoming, 2021 Homecoming and Family Weekend. And 6 new inductees into the Lewis and Clark Athletics Hall of Fame introduced at halftime. Alex Everett, short angled kick over to the far side, over the shoulder catch. Adrian Daffy has it, works it up the far side, and to the 35-yard line is brought down. So Lewis and Clark with a 25-22 lead. And Cruz Montana in the Lewis and Clark offense deferred to the second half. Pioneers 25-22 lead, 15-8 edge Puget Sound in first downs in the first half. Puget Sound 211 to 199, outgaining Lewis and Clark. 5 Pioneers penalties for 55 yards so far. Elijah McGee first down, handoff, and redirected and brought down. Lucas Varela there for a tackle for loss of 3. Elijah McGee, 6 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 6.2 per carry in the first half. Cruz Montana, 7 of 10, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns for Lewis and Clark. McGee also the leading receiver. 6 receptions, 55 yards. Has caught every single time he's been targeted. Penalty marker out, second down and long. Cruz Montana throws far side. An incomplete sliding attempt made by Sean Bodai on the far side in front of the defensive back, Trevino Lewis. Penalty marker out. Here's Seth Nielsen.
Side, defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
It was a free play for the Pioneers, offside. Pioneers at about a 2nd and 8 now with 14:23 to go. Third quarter, leading 25-22. Ezekiel Seavong up front defensively for Puget Sound, along with Quinn Williamson. Pioneers 4 receivers set, motion again, and this time it's blown dead. The Pioneers were trying to draw Varela, excuse me.
Offside, defense number 33 unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And that was the frustration for the Pioneers, was the unabated to the quarterback call. Lewis and Clark didn't like the fact they couldn't throw off that play. So now it's 2nd and 3. Back-to-back penalties for Puget Sound. Snap to Montana. Draw play, and he's grabbed by Varela and stalled behind the line of scrimmage. A significant loss, 3 yards. Gannon Griffin was in on the stop too. A loss of 3, 3rd down and 6. Pioneers have to get past the 45-yard line for a first down. Montana pumps, throws, and diving grab made by Verba Hamilton. Wow, Aiden Verba Hamilton, a big catch of 7 yards. Pioneers move the chains. Verba Hamilton had really no business making that catch. That was an excellent effort from the Lewis and Clark senior. 1st and 10 from Pioneers 46. 4-down lineman for Puget Sound. And around, Isaac Cordova has space. 1st down carry to the Puget Sound 38-yard line. 16-yard gain for the Pios. Mercury Campagno, Matt Casson, Michael Lloyd, Nathan Lean, and Alex Sandoval up front for Lewis and Clark. Noah Hobbs, the junior receiver in the slot, shifts to the left side, joins Cordova and Bodai. Verba Hamilton to the right side, McGee the deep back. 1st and 10 from the Puget Sound 38. Lewis and Clark up 3 with 13 minutes to play on a rainy afternoon homecoming. Rain is fluttering down. Cruz Montana, the quarterback. Snap, looks left, now right, deep ball, Verba Hamilton, and just too far out of the reach. Stride for stride was Lewis. Extra linebacker brought back on. Griffin replaces Mason Bridges on the defensive front. Also, Nick Derrick comes out. Pioneers quick snap on second down. Throw left side. Open receiver. Bodine caught it. Touchdown, Lewis and Clark. A 38-yard touchdown reception for Bodine, his second reception for a TD this year. And the Pioneers have their biggest lead of the game. Koga for the PAT to make it a 10-point edge. He does. Lewis and Clark leads 32-22 with 12:39 to go in the third quarter as Bodine had a great effort on the left side. Man, you can't say enough about this receiver out of Lyons, Oregon. Played at State and high school. The Eagles, just on the east side of Salem, Oregon, and Montana threw a beautiful football. That's Montana's 9th touchdown reception of the year. Or 9th touchdown pass of the year. In fact, third touchdown pass of the day. So that's now his 12th passing touchdown of the year. Big way to start the quarter. 6 plays, 65 yards, 2:17 off the clock. Pioneers lead 32-22. Kickoff goes to the near side. Tyler Stone underneath it, 20-yard line, 30. Barely gets there. Helmet flies off. Puget Sound's Trevino Lewis. So let's see what happens with Puget Sound. We were talking about this at halftime. I mean, there's a moment in time Puget Sound broke school records for pass TDs, completion, well, just completions, yardage, and points back in 2018. Murdoch Rutledge is the quarterback. And they're just good at throwing the ball all over the place. Well, snap to Rutledge, Washington right side, and gains a good amount of yardage. (32-22). Lewis and Clark on top by 10. .12:05 to play. Third quarter. First Puget Sound possession of the quarter. Snap to Rutledge. This time it's a handoff to Simon Yim, and Yim has an easy rumble right side for first down yardage. First half for Puget Sound. Like I said, the Loggers outgained Lewis and Clark 211 to 199. Silas Washington, 28 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Simon Yim, 5 carries, 23 yards. And Murdoch Rutledge ran for an 8-yard touchdown run. At the time, made it 15-7 for Puget Sound's largest lead of the game. Right now, 1st and 10, Puget Sound from its own 44. Double tight ends in, offset eye, handoff, and Washington gets enough yardage for a 4-yard gain. George Fournier and Griffin Hartshorn are the right side of the line. Left tackle, Caleb Soatoa. Left guard today is Sean Miller. And then the center is Jackson Dennis. A.J. Johnson split to the bottom of the formation. 2nd down and 6. 2 to snap. Handoff Washington. And hits a wall. And Sam Meinhardt still able to salvage a 2-yard gain. Big collision near midfield. Now a 3rd and 4. Up front for the Pios, Cameron Chang, Ramson Paz, Nico Lang, and David Seha. Washington right behind Rutledge. Handoff right side. Slowed, grabbed. Meinhardt brings him down for a gain of 1. Washington was kind of tapped. Not tripped, but just kind of tapped the hip of one of his teammates who was fighting off a defender. And it just slowed Washington quite a bit. And that allowed Meinhardt to come through. Meinhardt outstanding with 20 tackles this season and a wide variety of takeaways. 4th down. 4th down today. Puget Sound's 1 of 1. 4th and 2. Washington stacked up and on the twist back to his left has the 1st down. The Loggers, 2nd in the conference, top 60 in the nation on 4th down conversion tries this year, and that one's successful. Under 9 to play 3rd quarter. Puget Sound down 32-22, looking for its first win of the year. Pioneers trying to get their first back-to-back wins against a Northwest Conference opponent other than Willamette since 2012-13. Isaiah Durenz to the far side. DeZuddy to the right side, and Puget Sound has to burn a timeout. And it seemed like Jeff Thomas, walking off the sideline, the head coach for the Loggers, kind of motioned to himself as a indication of a my bad. So with the 1st and 10, Puget Sound has to burn a timeout. Mention congratulations to Lewis and Clark women's soccer. They get their victory over Pacific, 1-0 earlier today. Both of the volleyball matches this weekend have been canceled. So the Pioneers will go back to work next week on the road. All the rest of the Lewis and Clark's volleyball matches on the road after an outstanding senior night for Lewis and Clark volleyball last weekend. And it gets set 7 days away. It's next weekend. Lewis and Clark cross country vies for a Northwest Conference championship that'll be hosted by Linfield. Those are the fall sports. 1st and 10, Puget Sound. Behind by 10, 32-22. Under center, Rutledge. Turns, hands off. Not a lot of room on the left-hand side. Pioneers limit to a gain of 1. Give to Washington. I wonder what Washington's career high is for carries. He's over 30 now for the game. Always interested too, especially being less familiar with Puget Sound and Lewis and Clark. What's the all-time record at Puget Sound for carries in the game? 2nd down and 9. Play action. Rutledge rolls right. Lang reads it. Nico can't catch up. Rutledge fumbled on the sideline and marked out just shy of the 40-yard line. Great pursuit, especially considering Lang did not have the initial read. So he cut inward, as you'd imagine. And that's how Rutledge had scored in the first half. Clock told to wind at 7:30 to play. Ball placed at the 39 sets up a 3rd down and 5. Touchdowns by Washington of 13 yards on a run. Rutledge an 8-yard rush and an 11-yard pass from Rutledge to Johnson. The touchdowns today for the Loggers. 2-point conversion went to DeZuddy. after the first score. Snap, Rutledge, handoff right, Washington, patient, and undercut Hensley. Alex Hensley makes the stop at the 39. 2-yard gain. Ari Bleemer, Jake Bushman on to replace Justin Hope and Paz. Lewis and Clark rotating personnel. They've been out on the field a lot today. Time of possession favored the Loggers significantly in the first half. Fourth down and 4. And the Loggers go 3 of 3 on fourth down. The play clock nearly 0. Rutledge gets the snap, throws over the middle, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Liam Smith, that was a little behind him, and the Pioneers hold on downs. A 10-play drive comes up empty for Puget Sound. So Lewis and Clark with 6:12 to play in the third has the football. Cruz Montana with 3 receivers right, motions Cordova to the formation handoff. Cordova around the left corner. 50-yard line, breaks a tackle, still in bounds, and all the way deep into Puget Sound territory, but a penalty marker sits back at the 40-yard line near the original line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense number 65. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
They whistled it on Mercury Campagno. Chorus of boos from the Lewis and Clark crowd. 6:04 to play, 32-22. Lewis and Clark with the football at the 29 now. 1st and 20. That's a big turnaround. Instead of being at the other 30, they're at their own. McGee out of the backfield. Fake to him, left side. En route, Jonathan Newsom, the intended target, incomplete. Coverage the whole way by Lewis. Kevin Somel's out there at the linebacker position. Sherman. Pioneers quickly to the line, 2nd and long. Deep safety for Puget Sound is Marion Culpepper. 2 receivers either side, left hash marks. Loggers blitz quickly in the backfield. McGee picked it up. Montana lobs it. Cordova's underneath it and can't bring it in. It was in and out of his hands at the 45. McGee absorbed a shot. Great timing on the blitz by Puget Sound. Lewis and Clark on 3rd down today, 3 of 5. This one's a 3rd and 20. Quarterback draw. Quarterback nowhere. Quinn Williamson, a big stop. This brings out Huxley Richardson for the first punt of the day. Richardson, a freshman, averages 32 per kick back at the 12-yard line, and it gets away from him. Richardson kicks it out of the back of the end zone ahead of Johnson, but he kicked it. Penalty markers out, so a penalty to boot. A safety by Richardson. Wasn't certain he could pick it up. Johnson was there defensively Or it could have been Zarek Waters. It looked like Johnson. .5:10 to play in the third. And the snap not able to get cleanly into Richardson's hands. And now Seth Nielsen's Neeson is the official over to talk to 12th year head coach Jeff Thomas.
Illegal kicking. Kicking team. Half the distance to the goal. Loss of down. First down. Puget Sound.
So it's an illegal kick against Richardson, and that counts as the 4th down play for Lewis and Clark. So it's a turnover on downs. And basically a loss back to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal, Puget Sound. Pioneers 1-yard line. It was kicked by Richardson at the 2, half the distance to the 1. Handoff Richardson into the end zone. I said Richardson, I was thinking of the punter for Lewis and Clark. Washington into the end zone, and Puget Sound closes the gap to 4. Second rushing touchdown of the game for Washington. And that changes all sorts of things. Kick is up and through. 5:07 to go, third quarter. 32-29. Lewis and Clark leads by 3 on Pios Street. Back in Portland, 5:07 to play, third quarter, and a big churn. Huxley Richardson called for an illegal kick, and that set up the ball 1st and goal, and Washington immediately brings it in. Left side ran up, caught, 30-yard line. Desmond Holton, 40-yard line, twisted down. Pioneers will go back to work after an odd ending to their last drive. From the 40-yard line, Lewis and Clark starts this possession. First and 10. Snap to Cruz, Montana. Going deep. Aiden Verba Hamilton open. Caught on the hip. And into Puget Sound territory. And this time, there's no flags. A 36-yard reception for Aiden Verba Hamilton. Hamilton has a 58-yard reception in this game. He has a punt return of about 60 yards. He's been all over the place. Another big play from Verba Hamilton, the senior. 1st and 10 from the 24. Right side. McGee hesitates, stops, and goes back. Maybe a pickup to the line of scrimmage. Section 16, Article 1, kicking the ball. Legal and illegal kicks. Kicking the ball is intentionally striking the ball with the knee, lower leg, or foot. A legal kick is a punt, drop kick, or place kick made according to the rules by a team of player A before a change of possession. Snap. Montana on 2nd down and 9 over the middle. Incomplete. Knocked away from Ben Burnham by Blake Cole, the linebacker. It goes on to say kicking the ball in any other manner is illegal. Third down and 9. Montana lobs it. McGee in the middle. What a beautiful drop in, but there's a penalty marker. Oh my gosh.
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
They call it on Casson, and it's going to wipe out a 23-yard touchdown. Third down and 19. (32-29). Lewis and Clark leading by 3. 3:53 to go in the third. And whistles before the snap. Timeout taken by Puget Sound. The Loggers use their second of the half. Game opened up, Puget Sound went 3 and out. And then Lewis and Clark returned a punt from the Lewis and Clark 20, down to the opposite 19. So about a 50-yard return, but then a penalty put Lewis and Clark 1st and goal from the 9. And Elijah McGee scored on the very next play, a 9-yard rushing play. And Lewis and Clark took a 7-0 lead. Puget Sound came back through, 14-play, 68-yard drive, all running, and a 13-yard TD by Silas Washington. They go for 2. Gerard DeZutti, the 2-point conversion catch is good. Puget Sound gets the ball back. 8-yard rushing touchdown by Rutledge, led 15-7. The Pioneers kick a field goal. Going to Verba Hamilton, 58-yarder, led 17-15. Johnson with an 11-yard catch made it 22-17. The Pioneers scored back-to-back touchdowns ahead of that last one from Puget Sound. So a 3-point game is where we're at, late third quarter. Montana with McGee to his left. Play action. Had McGee pushed into him, now he's in trouble. Tries to somersault forward and can't get away. Griffin in the backfield, and Sandoval's having a hard time getting up. The right tackle for Lewis and Clark able to get to his feet. The Pioneers send out the punt team. Second punt of the game, but the last one was disastrous for Lewis and Clark. The snap got away from Richardson. He has this one. Wobbly kick, bounces at the 18, rolls forward, and the Pioneers gain another 8 yards, maybe an extra 9. It's not bad by Richardson. Salvages something after the last snap went past him, and he kicked it out of bounds for what is now to me known as an illegal kick. I, for some reason, remember someone saying you're always supposed to try to kick it or get it out of the end zone instead of yielding a touchdown. And that's what I thought Richardson was doing, so credit this officiating crew for understanding that situation. It was a 1-yard touchdown run for Puget Sound last time out. Handoff Washington, left side. Excuse me, right side, stumbling down and gains 4. Yeah, Bushman, the linebacker, is just not okay on his right side. He's either got a shoulder problem or something to do with his wrist. He comes off again. Herman's in with Meinhard, and the left side linebacker is Jordan Fajardo, Carson, California sophomore. Washington, the left side of Yim, directly behind the quarterback Rutledge. Washington, good run, breaks tackles, past the 30, tackled by Mares at the 33. A 19-yard gain by Washington. Plays like that punt play change momentum too. Lewis and Clark felt like the Pioneers were gaining control of the game. And now Puget Sound's back to running the football effectively out of this formation. Split backs, double tight end. Washington behind a blocker. Yim's leading the way, still dragging defenders to the 50-yard line. Washington brought down by Tanner Ono. That's another 17-yard gain. Even this is bigger success for the Loggers than they had early using this formation. They were picking up 6 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, shorter gains. Those are back-to-back double-digit runs. The Pioneers seemingly started to stop it when they split out their defensive tackles wider, when the two interior defensive linemen were over the tackles almost. 6 men up on the front for Lewis and Clark, and this time Paz able to grab with the left hand Washington and limit him to a gain of 3. Clock winds to under a minute left in the third quarter. Pioneers up 32-29. Puget Sound's been great running the ball today, over 4 yards per carry, 192 yards. Pioneers have ran just as effectively, believe it or not, 4.2 yards per carry as well. 2nd down and 7. Rutledge, bad snap, and the exchange to Washington was thrown right into his pads. Fumble. Henley covers up Washington, a loss of 3. Ten seconds left in the third. Puget Sound to the sideline. And will take their 3rd down play to the 4th quarter. From Griswold Stadium, Fred Wilson Field on the campus of Lewis and Clark College, the end of the 3rd quarter. Lewis and Clark Pioneers 32, Puget Sound Loggers 29. 4th quarter is next on Pios Street.
I made it. I made it here alive. I made it here alive. I made it. You can see it in my eyes. You can see it in my eyes.
Start of the fourth quarter, 3rd down and 10. Puget Sound trailing by 3, 32-29, but with the football at midfield. 3 receivers right. And 1 is A.J. Johnson to the top of the formation. Left to right now, 4th quarter. Rutledge, the quarterback, gets the snap. Pios rush 3, throws in route, and Johnson can't bring it in. They've ran that route twice, once for a touchdown, and that time it's too far out in front of Johnson. 4th down. Loggers not even looking at a punt. Fourth down conversions today. Puget Sound's 2 of 3. Pioneers blitz. Rutledge tackled and brought down. David Seah, Nico Lang. Turnover on downs. The Loggers started 2 for 2 on 4th downs, and their last 2 they've failed. What a play for the Pios. Lewis and Clark takes over with a 3-point lead. Ball at the Puget Sound 40-yard line. First drive to start in Loggers territory in the second half. McGee hurdling and squirming up the near sideline for a first down run. Gain of 13. McGee's had an excellent afternoon. Lewis and Clark receiver turned running back today, the junior out of Bremerton, Washington. 1st and 10, Puget Sound 27. Throw right side, Verba Hamilton drops to the knees and cradles it in. No, the official said incomplete. Incomplete at the 20. I didn't see it skip. The referee's far closer than I am. I thought it was a great play by Verba Hamilton. Incomplete, it's ruled. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Pocket's good. Throw over the middle, too high for Hobbs at the 8. Leaping up, trying to snare it out of the air. Coverage is there by Sherman. Big 3rd and 10 now for Lewis and Clark. Pios are 3 of 7 on 3rd down today. Cordova and Newsom to the near side. Burnham and Verba Hamilton to the right. Throw right side, caught by McGee. Goes out of bounds, shy of the first down, but a good yardage gain to set up a 4th down and short at the 20. Pioneers bringing Aaron Krause and Adrian Daffy, the double tight ends, with the fullback Logan Herman. Pioneers 4th down and 3. Yet to try a conversion today. Pioneers 4th best in the conference. They've converted 50%, but whistles blow before the snap. And the clock got down to 0.
Play clock was never set. Please set it to 25.
Good catch by the officials. And now Cordova and Burnham are back in. So is Verba Hamilton. He was on the complete opposite side, the right side of the sideline. Snap, handoff, McGee stacked up right side. Can't get away from Varela. And the Puget Sound Loggers hold on downs. I mentioned that Randy Heath's the defensive coordinator for Lewis and Clark. He's wearing a bright orange coat or sweatshirt down there on the field. And I mentioned he replaced Eric Jackson, a longtime defensive coordinator for Lewis and Clark. Well, Jackson's in town today. It's good to see Eric Jackson down on the sidelines. 1st and 10, Puget Sound from its own 19. Trailing 32-29 with 13 minutes to play in the 4th. Washington right side, and Ono and Colvin sandwich him down near the 27-yard line. Ono a little bit hobbled on the right leg getting up. Ono does not look right. Pioneers make a change. Nando Magallanes comes in, plays the corner. Lavoie becomes the safety. 2nd down and 3. Hand off to Washington, right side. Grab from his right, penalty marker out to boot. Nice play by Mares. And another penalty marker comes out as well. So 2 separate penalty markers out with 12:35 to go.
There are 2 fouls. There are 2. Both will be enforced. Holding, offense number 45, 10-yard penalty after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 19, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The automatic first down is huge on that. It looked like Colvin was trying to help clear off the pile, but it was not necessary to do. Sammy Gonzalez comes in for Colvin on this play. Gonzalez in his junior year out of Marietta, California. .12:35 to go. Lewis and Clark regain the lead. 25-22 with 39 seconds left in the first half. And have led since. Puget Sound closed the gap from 10 to where we are now, 7. After a bad snap on a punt, had the ball on the turf, and Huxley Richardson kicked out of the back of the end zone, which ended up being an illegal kick and set up Puget Sound 1st and goal from the 1. They scored on the next play to cut the deficit down to 3. 1st and 10. Richardson hands off. Washington to the left side, hurdles over a defender, and is caught from behind, not until a first down carry up to the 47. So Colvin comes back in. Ono comes back in as well. So Pioneers back to their starting secondary. Ball placed at the 47-yard line with 1:50 to go in the 4th quarter. It's been Simon Yim and Silas Washington for about half of this game out of the split back formation. Handoff Washington. Right side, cuts in and finds positive yardage. What otherwise looked like nothing. Ari Bleemer, the tackle after a gain of 2. Rain is calmer than it was to start the second half. It's been raining all day, harder even before the game. Very light wind on homecoming 2021. Puget Sound trying to get its first win of the year. Lewis and Clark trying to beat the Loggers for the second straight year. 2nd down and 8. Rutledge under center. Snaps it, hands it. Washington out of a sandwich, able to initially get forward, but not brought down. Nice play by Pioneers. Meinhard was there. So was Lang. Loss. This brings up 3rd and 10. Niemelum and Smith in the slot left side with Duran split out to the top of the formation. Johnson on the bottom. 3rd and 10. Pioneers rush 4. Rutledge up in the pocket. Throws left side, and it's caught, but short of the sticks. Niemelum has it at the Lewis and Clark 44. Gain of 9, 4th and 1 for Puget Sound. Loggers go back to the double tight end formation. Knight and Dezuddy come back in. Puget Sound has been stopped on their last 2 4th down conversion tries. Timeout, Puget Sound. The play clock was expiring, and the Loggers have burned all their timeouts in the second half. .9:25 left, 4th quarter, 32-29. Lewis and Clark won this game 33-21 to conclude the 2019 season. That was a big deal. Lewis and Clark got its 4th win of the year, their most since 2012, and won their 3rd home game of the season, their most since 2011. Remember, last season did not happen. Lewis and Clark did not play any football in 2020 because of the coronavirus pandemic. Michael Abraham, Andre Farage Washington became the first pair of Lewis and Clark 100 rushers in a long time. Pioneers outscored Puget Sound 26-7 in the second half of that game. 32-29 our score now, 4th and 1. Puget Sound just used its last timeout. Yim is the deep back. Now they shift back into the more typical split back formation. 4th and 1. And penalty marker out off the snap. Puget Sound jumped.
False start. Offense, number 45. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Knight too early, 4th and 6. Hope comes in for Paz. The Pioneers go to a 3-4 look. 4 linebackers. 4 receivers for Puget Sound. Pioneers have 2 sacks today. They adjust the clock. Rutledge in shotgun. Johnson on the top of the formation. Rutledge passing, and it's incomplete. Third drive of the second half that the Loggers turn it over on downs. It was intended for Durenz, and that penalty was huge. Lewis and Clark takes over with 9:22 to go in the 4th. The Loggers have barely lost yardage out of that split back formation, and that penalty made it a 4th and 6 instead of a 4th and 1. Montana, the Lewis and Clark quarterback, throwing deep near side. Newsom's got a step, and he's just out of the reach. There was a penalty marker thrown as Newsom was running forward against the defensive back, Ethan Kearns.
Holding, defense, number 28. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And that hold happened pretty early too, which is a shame because Newsom was open when that ball left Montana's hands. So the hold definitely didn't keep Newsom from catching that. Montana was just a little out in front. 1st and 10 though, Lewis and Clark from the Puget Sound 41. 2 receivers either side. Newsom, a former quarterback, had a great start to the year, playing in his first games in quite a while, maybe 2 or 3 games. Snap, Montana, 5-man rush, picked up, throw right, caught, Verba Hamilton out of bounds. Shy of the first down. Lewis had the stop, gain of 8. Verba Hamilton's had a solid day, one of his best games of the season. Over 100 yards receiving, including a 58-yard touchdown today. 2nd down and 8. Nice pickup of the blitz, throw right out of the reach. It was intended for Burnham on an out route about the 27, brings up 3rd down and 2. So Hamilton, 5 catches, 114 yards for Verba Hamilton, a touchdown. McGee, 6 catches, 55 yards and a TD. And Sean Bodie, a 1 catch for 38-yard effort and a score. I formation. Herman leading the way for McGee. Pitch play left. McGee, 1st down carry and twisted over for an extra yard. Blake Cole on the tackle. And there's a player who lost his helmet.
Has to come out for 1 play. 1st down, Lewis.
Puget Sound's Nick Derrick has to come out. 8:40 to play, midway through the 4th. 32-29, Lewis and Clark's lead is 3. Pioneers getting this possession after stopping Puget Sound on 4th down near midfield. McGee's been stellar at running back, 6.6 per carry. From the 31, Montana throws right, intercepted, stepped in front of, down the far side, Kearns cuts it at the 40 and is caught from behind. Ball might have came free at the end. Cruz Montana had the football and handed it to the official, and the Pioneers get it back.
Recovered by the
Pios
offense.
fall on the loose ball.
Lewis and Clark.
1st and 10.
So a 40 or so yard return by Kearns, and Montana, the quarterback who threw the interception, gets the football back for Lewis and Clark. At the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Handoff Cordova right side. Cordova looked determined to stay in bounds. Clock moves under 8 minutes left. Cole made the tackle. What a sequence. Kearns with the pick. Montana with the fumble recovery. (32-29). Lewis and Clark's lead is 3. Montana, good pocket, throws deep. Verba Hamilton has a step, lays out at the 20. They can't bring it in. Great coverage. You have a guy like Verba Hamilton who can just beat it. Culpepper was there. Should say Verba Hamilton beat Culpepper, but That's just because Verba Hamilton's so fast. 3rd down and 7. Here's a throw near side. Newsom open, caught, 1st down, 50-yard line. That was Kearns on the defensive side who had that interception. Big gain for the Pios. 17-yard gain for Newsom. That's Newsom's first catch of the day. Bodai comes in. He's on the near side. Verba Hamilton back out on the far side. 1st and 10 from the Loggers 47. Snap Montana, handoff McGee. Breaks someone off of his jersey and across the 40 down to the 37-yard line. 1st down carry nearly by McGee, marked maybe a half-yard short. Clock winds toward the 6-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Pioneers trying to preserve a 32-29 lead. 3 receivers right for Montana, the quarterback. Motions, Cordova, handoff. Cordova, and cut inside. Nice play to shed the block by Lewis. No gain, 3rd down. Bodai couldn't get the seal. He comes off, Newsom's back in. Clock continues to move. Pioneers have not allowed Puget Sound to move the football in the second half. 3 defensive stops, turnover on downs, but a punt that went past Huxley Richardson gave Puget Sound a 1st and goal on the 1. That's how Puget Sound cut it from 10-3. Under center, Montana quarterback sneak and is shoved forward by Herman, the fullback, that helped Montana propel forward. For enough, a 1st down, Lewis and Clark. Herman hit him. Herman gave him quite a shove. Puget Sound's also out of timeouts. The Loggers have used them all. Newsom left side. Cordova in the slot. Snap, McGee handoff left, good seal by Casson. Spinning out of a tackle, 30-yard line, and McGee also stays in bounds near the 25. 1st down carry for Lewis and Clark. Clock winds, 4:20 to play in the 4th. 1st down. Ninth play of the drive for Lewis and Clark. Again, this was after Lewis and Clark threw an interception, but Kearns fumbled on the return. Same play. This time it's Tony Rangel. And a Rangel gain of about 2. Make it 3. McGee needed a breather. Pioneers don't have a ton of depth. Second down snap, Montana going end zone. Verba Hamilton backing up on it, and he has it. Touchdown, Lewis and Clark. Second TD reception of the game for Verba Hamilton. A 22-yard reception. Kogan for the PAT to make it a 10-point lead. Ooh, a lot of pressure in the face of Koga, and he puts it through. 39-29, 3:17 to go in the fourth quarter. From Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon, this is Pios Street. Second TD reception for Aiden Verba Hamilton gives Lewis and Clark a 10-point lead. Pioneers trailed in this game 22-17 with 1:29 left in the second quarter, but the Pioneers have scored 3 of the last 4 touchdowns to lead 39-29. Puget Sound has not been able to move the ball in the second half. Puget Sound just about 100 yards of offense in the second half. Kick received at the 5. Left side. Grabbed onto and brought down shy of the 30. The return from Tyler Stone. Herman, Hawley, and Fajardo really patrolled that far side of the kick return. Now it's up to the Pioneers defense with 3:10 to play. Puget Sound out of timeouts. Seemingly Pioneers can get a 3-and-out, could end the game. And Lewis and Clark will get its second Northwest Conference victory of the year. 3 receivers set to the near side. It's not Johnson to the top of the formation. He's been there all day. Dylan Singh Halpin is up there. Rutledge, flush to his right, throwing, and coming back for the reception. It's made. That seemed awkward. I think it might have been intended for Smith, and Duren stepped in front of it, takes it to the 50, a quick 22-yard pickup for Puget Sound. It's one of their biggest plays of the day through the air. Johnson's back in, top of the formation. 1st and 10 midfield, 3-man rush. Deep ball for Johnson, and it's incomplete. LeBoy was playing the ball and kind of bumped Johnson, who didn't know he was behind him. Johnson was waiting to high point the ball, and LeBoy going for it too. Stout defense, incomplete. 2nd down, 2:46 to play in the 4th. Bushman up on the line of scrimmage, backs off. Pioneers blitz Hensley from the left. Rutledge throws. Johnson slipped down, got back up, makes the catch, and still has his feet. Oh no! Makes the tackle near the 24-yard line, a 26-yard pickup. Again, the field's wet from lots of morning rain and lighter rain throughout today. Quickly, Rutledge, 1st and 10 from the 25, throws left, intercepted. LeBoy jumped the route. He's up the far sideline, gets a block, and the seniors into the end zone. Touchdown, Lewis and Clark. What a play by McConnell LeBoy. Back for the extra year. Post-coronavirus season canceled. And he makes it with the extra point of 46-29 lead. Wear that turnover hat proudly. LeBoy might have sealed it in Portland. That was a big interception return of about 80 yards for LeBoy. And proactive blocking by the Pioneers. You saw some blocks across midfield, and all that did was seal a completely clear coast up the far side from the 50 into the end zone. Pioneers 46, Loggers 29. Last year, Lewis and Clark won 33-21. They also beat Pacific Lutheran last year. And by last year, thinking back to the 2019 season. Lewis and Clark felt really good about having a chance to beat PLU this year, but spotted the Lutes a 35-10 lead and got back within one, but lost 38-37 2 weeks ago. From the 2, Stone. 20-yard line, twisted down. Plays made by Will Powell, the linebacker from Oakland, Oregon. A penalty marker out late as well. That PLU game was Lewis and Clark's first chance this year to beat a conference opponent back-to-back.
Play, personal foul, late hit. Kicking team, number 53, 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, Puget Sound.
Penalty against Lewis and Clark's Pasung Zeta. So now, Pioneers defend the wagon wheel for the 4th straight year last week, beating Willamette 43-41. So 4 straight wins over the Bearcats. But today was a chance to beat a team for the first time in back-to-back years since 2012 and 2013. First and 10 snap for Rutledge and the Loggers. 3 turnovers on Downs drives. Turnover on Downs drives in this half. Rutledge throws right. Caught. Durenz has it. Short of the first down. Clock winds to 2 minutes to play. Lewis and Clark won in 2012 in this meeting, 55-42. That was part of a 4-win season for the Pios. Incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 1.
Illegal substitution, defense, 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down. Correction, replay, second down. Game clock operator, please set the clock to 1:50.
The year before, or the year after, excuse me, in 2013, the Pioneers beat Puget Sound 60-30. And that would be Lewis and Clark's last win until they finally beat Pomona Pitzer in 2017. It's been a long time for Lewis and Clark since they've won back-to-back games against other conference opponents. Meanwhile, Puget Sound, a team that's won about 6 or 7 games a year, it seems like, for the middle part of the 2010s. There's a chance to fall 0-7 after today. 1:50 left when they finally get everything sorted out. 1st and 10 from Lewis and Clark 49. Rutledge steps up, throws, Durenz has it, and it's fumbled, separated and recovered by the Pios. Bushman fell on the fumble. The ball went free. They ruled incomplete. Incomplete, say the officials. And Puget Sound's already to the line. It will end up being second down and 10. So it is 2nd down and 10. Snap to Rutledge. Throw. Drentz in route. Caught through the slot. First down to the 36 of Lewis and Clark. Puget Sound, no timeouts. Spiked ball with 1:32 left. Second down and 10. Snap to Rutledge. Lots of time. Pios rush 3. Now flushed right. And has to throw it away. 1:26 left. Pioneers have been good getting to the quarterback. Second in sacks in the Northwest Conference. They have a few today. 3rd and 10 from the Lewis and Clark 36. Snap, Rutledge pumps, throws, double move to the end zone. Johnson incomplete. Broken up by LeBoy. What a second half for McConnell LeBoy. And LeBoy's been pretty quiet. There's not a lot of people who throw toward LeBoy. He's been pretty quiet throughout the course of the year, but a big game in his second to last home game. 4th down. Rutledge throws, and it's incomplete. Johnson dropped it. Would have been a first down. And the Pioneers take over with 1:15 left on homecoming. And a 46-29 lead. The quarterback is Cruz Montana. And under center for a couple of kneel downs and get the homecoming crowd out with a victory. Verba Hamilton, a huge day. 2 big touchdown receptions. 136 yards receiving. Elijah McGee used as a running back, 7.2 yards per carry. And credit Randy Heath and the Pioneers defense. They found a way to adjust to some big success Puget Sound was having as the Loggers put up 256 rushing yards today. Silas Washington, 209 yards on 45 carries. But in the end, the Pioneers get the victory, and the Loggers drop to 0-7 on the year. Lewis and Clark even at 3-3 on the year, 2-2 in the conference. There's a lot of road work still to be done for the Pios, but they'll be back here in 2 weeks for the home finale against George Fox. Midfield handshakes. A.J. Johnson's an outstanding football player, and he leads the way through. Pioneers win 46-29. Big shout out to our friend Chuck Charnquist. We had the Hall of Fame dinner yesterday, the longest running Hall of Fame in the Pacific Northwest, and he started it. Big reason for why it exists. We wish you well, Chuck. Appreciate everything that you've done for me and for all of us. Big thanks to Lily Moffitt, our director, and the entire Pios Stream crew. Our final from Griswold Stadium in Portland, Oregon. Lewis and Clark Pioneers 46, Puget Sound Loggers 29. I'm Ryan Goff. Thanks for having fun with us. Stay tuned. We'll show you some of the highlights if we can and invite you to check out lcpioneers.com for more post-game coverage. Until then, goodbye, everybody, from Portland.